Hello, I'm Patricia Culligan. I'm here today to talk to you about why you should consider voting for UKIP for me in Eastleigh on the 7th of May in this very important general election that matters so much to all of us. The first main reason is that UKIP are genuinely different. We're not career politicians. We are ordinary people from real life, people with jobs and families. We don't have incredibly complex setups and links with all the in-crowd. We are here to represent what really matters for all of us with our feet on the ground. And influencing what really matters is why we need lots of UKIP MPs. The fact is, we can make a huge difference to any government. We will vote on the issues that matter, in my case, to Eastleigh. And that's why it's such a difference and such a chance for a change. I hope you had a chance to look at our manifesto. If you haven't, it's available online. It's been fully costed, it's been independently verified, and that's something of a first in British politics. But we can afford it. UKIP can afford all the changes that matter to us because we've decided what doesn't matter. And we will make 4 main areas of savings so that we can have better services and we can have a decent system for everybody who lives in this country. What we'll be doing is we will be scrapping HS2, the train line in the north that makes very little sense and is nothing more than a vanity project. We will also be rebalancing the Barnett formula, as it's known, so that every single person who lives in England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland has the same amount spent upon them, not that one country gets more than all the rest. We'll also be looking at our foreign aid budget, and as a naturally generous country, we will make sure we help people who have emergencies, who need clean water, vaccinations and other help. But we will not be committing billions to causes that actually don't help those countries or actually allow them to have space programs when we've got people who can't get the cancer drugs they need in this country. So we will do a sensible adjustment there. And of course, we are the only party who are committed to getting rid of the £55 million or thereabouts that we spend every day just to be a member of the European Union. We want change. We want to trade and be friendly with Europe. We love Europe, but we don't want a political alliance that means we have no control over our own laws. We just have EU regulations from people that we've not elected imposed upon us. Well, we say no to that in UKIP, and as I'm sure you know, we are the only party that will fight for a full and fair and free referendum as soon as possible, not one that's based on evasion and the lies of the past. We demand better for Britain. We do want our country back. We want our laws, British laws, and that's what we will really be fighting for on behalf of every single person in this country. So, we've got this great manifesto, we've got lots of good things to talk to you about, and I would like to talk, I think now, about some of the myths about UKIP. I hope most of you are aware that an awful lot of the criticism we've had is just not justified. But let's just get a few things straight. On the NHS, we value the NHS. We want a free, at the point of use, NHS for every single citizen in this country, every single resident in this country, whatever their needs, however complex, however costly. We want the NHS to provide for those. But we're not frightened in UKIP of opening the box and looking at different ways and then saying, well, no, I don't think so. We like what we've got. We're committed not just to an extra £3 billion for the NHS annually, but we are also committed to making sure that we get value for money. We're not interested in waste. We want good practice. We want to make sure everybody gets a decent system, and we will also prioritise our own country first because it's a national health service, isn't it? Not an international one. So, like most countries, visitors and new people who come to live here will have to have health insurance because that's the way it should be. And when they've had a chance to contribute and lived and worked here for long enough to do that, fantastic. It's the same then for everybody. UKIP UKIP are known, of course, for having very strong views about immigration, but hey, guess what? We're not anti-immigrant in the slightest. In fact, we love immigrants so much, we want to make sure we get the best people with the skills we need from the whole world, not just unlimited numbers from Europe. It's just not fair. We are a small island, we have a decent economy, we want that to grow, of course we do. We enjoy meeting people from all sorts of cultures, from all over the world. We want people to come here, to work, to integrate, to enjoy British life and to add their own take on that. That's fantastic. But we cannot allow unlimited numbers without planning services. We need to know the numbers. We need to plan the infrastructure so that we all have a decent way of life. And I think that's one reason why UKIP definitely appeals to so many different people, whether it's families, single people, people from different ethnic origins, people from different religions, ages. It just doesn't matter. This is about numbers. UKIP want and welcome worldwide migrants using an Australian-style points-based system so that we can give priority to our needs and truly provide a welcome and a decent lifestyle to newcomers without compressing the wages and opportunities for those of us who already live here. So I hope we've got that one straight. Why should you vote for me for Eastleigh? Why is UKIP a good party for Eastleigh? After all, it's a lovely place to live. We've got a great balance of town, rural, very good transport links, lots going for living here, and that's great. But we all know how hard it is to get from A to B. We all know the transport problems. And I've worked all over Hampshire and this area for over 25 years, and the number of times I've been late, couldn't get to things, couldn't get back for my own kids to get them somewhere, it's just not on. There's no point in pretending Eastleigh's an attractive place to live. It's going to attract more and more people, and as London expands, so we will be getting some of those people who move further out. Our housing policy has to be based on prioritising local need, whether it's young people who need to leave home, their families, and establish themselves, to people whose lifestyle needs change as they get older or their families increase. That's what we need to plan for. We need more housing on brownfield sites, and UKIP will support that and encourage it from a financial perspective. But what we don't want are builders and developers having the upper hand, ignoring local opinion, ignoring perfectly reasonable communities that say, this isn't what we want. We need our green fields. We want to be outdoors. We need a healthy lifestyle. Don't do this to us. We don't need more cars and more traffic on the roads. And UKIP say, we'll be listening. And I assure you, I will be listening very hard indeed. I've been astounded at how the views of people in Borley Green and Hamble and parts of Eastleigh Town have been ignored. Stoneham Park, just, the shrine there, the history and the heritage and culture attached to that somehow no longer matters. Matters to me, and it matters to the people who live here. And that's what I will be fighting for on your behalf. Decent infrastructure, bypasses where we need them, Chickenhall in particular, but all over the area. We want to make the most of what we've got. We want to expand and be a vibrant area to live in, whether we are young and bringing up our own families or whether we are older. UKIP will look after pensioners. We won't take away any passes, any privileges so-called, and certainly not allowances. And neither will we be putting our more vulnerable people through the degrading tests that they're currently having to do. We also want to make sure our schools are there for parental choice. We want people to make their own decisions about where they send their children, with classes of the right size so children can truly learn and their individual needs be recognised. We want grammar schools, we want technical education, we want the best, and I will be demanding just that. I've worked in education for many, many years with young people as well as with adults, and I know what matters, and opportunity and the basics in place mean the foundation for a life of independence and aspiration in the future, and I think that that's pretty much what we all want. So that's the kind of thing that I'll be offering. You might be thinking, well, who's she? Why is she any use to us? Yeah, it's true. You probably know I was once a social worker, worked with many vulnerable people. I was a lecturer, as I've said, for many years. I've worked in the public sector and the private sector. And I started a business, and I've run and worked in charities and as a volunteer too for the Diabetes UK and others. So, you know, I've been around life's block a few times. I'm not a perfect person. Do you know what? I don't believe in them and they frighten me. I'm willing to put my hand up and say, oh man, I have made mistakes. I sure have. I'm sorry. I learn from them. I move on. And that's, I think, the way to be in life. You have to be forgiving. There's no such thing as perfection. And I'm not aiming for that. But I am a listener. And I am somebody who will stand up. I won't listen to bullies. I will move on. And I will make sure I represent your interest. You will find that UKIP has an open door. We've got our shop in the town centre. All sorts of people come through our door and they are so welcome. That's the kind of MP I will be. Available, visible and a listener. And I hope that's something that you think is a bit different and something that Eastleigh and our parishes are ready for. It is time for a change. I want you to be bold. I'm being bold standing. I'm not a career politician, as I've said. I don't have the links. I don't have the experience. I don't have, you know, the usual background of just, you know, researcher, nice little job and then into a seat. I don't have parents doing it. In fact, I don't have any parents. They died when I was a young girl and I had to find my own way in life without anything behind me. But I did have the ladder of education and that's why I'm such a believer in that. I don't like red tape and bureaucracy. I don't like businesses being held back. And we'll make sure in UKIP that we free up small businesses in all sorts of ways and we look after people who contribute. And that makes me think about what we'll be doing for our defences and for our veterans. Well, you know that we are committed to the NATO budget, unlike the other parties. Because it is a difficult world, it's an uncertain world. And we can't be sure of anything, so why an island maritime nation with such a proud history should just let go of the protections that we need is a mystery to me. So I'll be fighting to retain that. I'll get back what the politicians in charge of the last decade or so have just given away. And our veterans deserve our respect and our support. And so UKIP will make sure that we have guaranteed priority for jobs for people who've served for over 12 years, whether it's in the police, the prison service or our border control agencies. So we've got practical changes that will make a difference to the lives of everybody. I'm a listener. It's time for a change. I hope you're ready to change. Put your trust in change. Put your trust in me. Vote for independence. Vote to get your country back. Vote because you believe in Britain, and I'll do you a good job in Eastleigh. Thank you.